Hello, I'm Don Mooers, and welcome to Montgomery Week in Review. Interfaith Works, one of our most important organizations, honors businesses, individuals, and others in Montgomery County for their unselfish work on behalf of so many in our community who are in need. Mary Jo Bean from Interfaith Works is here to explain. Homeless outreach is one of the many programs operated by EveryMind, formerly known as the Mental Health Association of Montgomery County. Betsy Bowman, Director of Adult and Community Services, she's here to tell us all about what they do. This month, we honor the African American community in Black History Month. And one of the discussion groups of our Montgomery County League of Women Voters is learning about a freed slave from the Norbeck area of Montgomery County. In fact, I think at Leisure World. Elaine Apter from the League attended. She's been part of this. She has all the details about a key part of our history. Well, it seems a little bit early to be thinking about what to do this summer, but not here at Montgomery Community Media. MCM talking about a great new program this summer and many other things for our kids. Tony Spearman-Leach, one of the leaders of Montgomery Community Media, is here and has the story. Mary Jo, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Your first time on this show.
It is.
Well,
I've heard great things.
We're really glad that you're here. You're here to talk about one of the seminal events in our community, in our county, what everybody looks forward to, and that's the Interfaith Works Breakfast. So tell me about it.
Sure. So Interfaith Works operates 13 programs in the county that offer prevention, stabilization, and empowerment programs to help individuals lift themselves out of poverty. Every April, we bring together those who make it possible. Right. So corporations, government, individuals, foundations, you name it. We hope to see them in April. A special thing we do, though, is recognize individuals who are instrumental in making our work happen.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of that. The Interfaith Works, and just a quick review, it started up as a consortium of faith communities.
It did.
Working together, better to be united than piecemeal. And so all of these individuals who matter in our community, who are you most excited this year about? I mean, you've got several honorees, so why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So I don't know if you're familiar, but 3 of Interfaith Works programs have moved to new locations. So this year we're honoring 4 separate groups that made it possible. So Forrester Construction, Comcast, Ingleside at King Farm, and then a couple, Ann and Rick Rudman. So without their support, I don't know how these moves would have happened.
So Ann and Rick Redmond, they lifted all the furniture and everything going on.
Oh man, they did. With our
Forrester hammered, Comcast covered it, and Ingleside
they painted murals and flooring and layettes.
That's what I was going to ask, because that's a senior group, isn't it? And there are so many senior groups around. How did they help, and maybe how other senior groups can help?
So Ingleside at King Farm has a tremendous volunteer coordinator who really engages those living at Ingleside. They have a group together that comes together once a month and puts together layettes for expecting moms at our Interfaith Clothing Center. They painted this beautiful mural in our new Interfaith Clothing Center of balloons, and it's in our children's corner, and it just brightens up the place. And then they also, as they renovate, they donate kind of old flooring. And so I don't know if you've been to the ICC, but it's an old school, the Interfaith Clothing Center, and old tile. It's been there since probably it was built, and so they've helped us really make it just a beautiful space. And flooring makes a huge difference.
That's what they call it, the broom, right?
Yep.
To be swept all the time. No, Colonel Broom. So tell me about what Forrester did.
Wow, Forrester just has stepped up in so many different ways, from holding drives for our women residents moving into the new shelter so that they had welcome baskets as they moved in, to putting together all of the kitchen tables we had delivered, to fixing drywall and painting, and just our new women's shelter. It's moved into a place not too far from here, to Taft Court, and we share a location with Cornerstone Montgomery and CCI Health and Wellness. So when our women move in, they really have access to wraparound services. We eliminated the barriers of transportation. And anyways, Forrester was instrumental in just making it a bright, welcoming home for these women.
You know, I see that you're honoring the people who've obviously made all of this possible for you, but a lot of us out here in the community, we want to help too. How can we get involved in helping what you're doing and supporting the homeless community?
Oh, there are so many opportunities to do so, from preparing meals for our shelters. So all the meals that we serve at our shelters are 100% volunteer donated, which is a huge cost savings to Interfaith Works, but it's a wonderful opportunity to engage with those that we serve. So there's meal provisions, doing drives. We have 21 chronically homeless individuals moving into new units, and we need to furnish their apartments. So anything
we can help provide
You can help provide
furniture.
So furniture or bath
Don't you be
mats,
taking
trash
my-
cans.
We need these chairs, Tony, for this show. But, oh my God. No,
Yeah, but I mean, we'd love for everyone to come to the breakfast and learn more about what we're doing. It's a fun morning. It's a great way to start your
When
morning.
is the breakfast?
I was going to say, how do we find out?
Great
Yes.
question. The breakfast is April 20th. It's a Thursday morning at the Marriott in Bethesda, the Conference Center. Yeah.
It's easy because they can go on Interfaith Works
Yep.
website.
Our
and-
website has all the information you need.
What's the website?
It's iWorks, IWRORKS, MC, Montgomery County, @.org.
Awesome.
And this year, just one more thing about the breakfast is we're actually honoring all our past awardees. It's our 20th anniversary, so we're inviting all those folks back. They are our legacy of leadership. They've helped us execute our mission and vision, but folks like Chuck Short and Carol Trewick, we're excited to re-honor them and re-recognize all their
About
work
30
for us.
seconds.
Yes.
Is there a time in the future when you think we're not going to need an Interfaith Works?
You know, I think that's always the hope, is that Interfaith Works has set a goal to make Montgomery County the lowest poverty rate county in the state of Maryland. And so we're working really hard with our partners, like EveryMind, to make that possible. And I think you hope one day that we won't be needed, but that our congregations will still come together and address a new need.
Right. Well, I wish you the best in this.
Thank you.
This is the great work, and I wish you them great success in the breakfast. I think we'll
Thank
all
you.
be there. Appreciate
Wonderful.
It. Welcome, Betsy.
Thanks for having me.
So homeless,
Yes.
and what EveryMind is doing in addressing homeless, you're leading the charge in this.
I am.
I'm hoping to get to that question. Just the last question I asked Mary Jo is, will we come to a day where there's not homelessness here? But I just heard coming in a statistic that said that the DC metropolitan area has a much higher rate of homelessness than the national average and most every place in the country.
It does. We have a very large homeless population within this area, and because we do sit so closely to DC, we do share a lot of that population. So a lot of individuals that are experiencing homelessness they may migrate, they may not stay in
Sure.
one area. Some do, some are very habitual in where they may stay. Others don't, and so we may share them with PG or DC or northern counties or Baltimore. As their needs change, they may move to where they think that need's going to be best met.
Sure.
So we always are working with other principalities to really figure out how best to meet the needs of the individuals.
Now, we hear about so many different causes for homelessness, a job loss, sudden loss of a loved one going down, affordable housing not being available, as well as what you all do and look after EveryMind. Maybe what part are you looking after? Is there a segment of the homelessness of the homeless community that you're focused on?
Sure. I mean, my contract definitely has a focus. So I'm looking at the street homeless individuals. So I'm looking at the individuals that aren't engaged in other providers, that aren't in housing anywhere or transitional programs, any of that. So it's the ones that are maybe out in encampments, that are living on the streets, maybe in their cars, some of those. The unsheltered population is really what my focus is going to be. I can certainly serve other individuals that are homeless as well, but the focus is really going to be that chronically homeless, unsheltered, out on the street. That's going to be the focus for what our services are going to do.
Okay.
And then our services are really going to depend on what that client needs. Obviously, the ultimate goal would be to be able to get them shelter. But as you mentioned, there's so many causes and so many backgrounds for each individual. There's not one fix.
Let me ask you, if I am going through Montgomery County and I see someone who is staying in their car, how do I reach out to you? How do I say, I found someone and I see this problem, I've passed them for 3 days, what do I do next?
Well, you certainly go to our website or get in connection with me. We do have a referral on the website. And our website or our referral can come directly from community. So we get calls. I know our number is going to get out there. But if you call EveryMind, or actually we connect with the Crisis Center as well from Montgomery County. So if the Crisis Center receives a call on someone who's homeless, they're going to connect to me or one of the other homeless providers. But as a community person, you can directly connect to me. So I get calls from the community.
What's the crisis line, or how can I reach out to you?
To reach out to me is going to be 301-424-0656, and then I'm at extension 506. My staff is going to be at extension 562.
Okay.
And the staff aren't 24 hours. We don't have crisis emergency response, but if you reach out and say, hey, I just saw this individual, or I learned of an individual that's living in their car, we're going to go try to engage them. So my staff's going to reach out, going to go try to talk to the individual, find a little bit about their story. Some individuals I'm going to meet with 2 or 3 times a week for the next 6 months before I'm going to get a last name. Other individuals may be a much quicker process. And so you just letting me know they're there, I'm going to start working on it, but it may not be immediate.
How many people do you handle? Like, honestly, how many people do you
Caseload.
handle?
The caseloads are going to fluctuate a little bit, because as I kind of mentioned, some of these individuals may come and go a little bit. So in hyperthermia, maybe they're down in DC, or they're here for hyperthermia, but during the warmer months they go elsewhere. So some of our population or our caseload may move a little bit. So our case managers may see 30, 35 kind of on a regular basis, but maybe 10 or 15 of those are gone for a couple of months and then come back. Others, we may be just in that very initial engagement for, I said, a number of months.
Mm-hmm.
Others we may be full on, really working with. We have a goal, they're very close to housing, we're working on the paperwork, we're working on all the other things that it's needed, so we're really tightly communicated.
We've got about a minute left. We've got just a little bit of time.
Quickly, you're talking about individuals a lot. Is there a program for families too?
There is. Montgomery County has programs for really everyone who's out there. I don't deal with the families. So my contract specifically is going to be single adults. So it's going to be 18 and over, men and women, that want to be engaged in homeless services and really need that case management support. So if you're newly homeless and you can reach out to one of the other providers, that would be your route. But community providers, people that are on the street homeless, people that are engaging through hospitals, crisis center, that's going to be the clientele that I'm going to connect to.
You keep using the word engage.
Yes.
20 seconds.
And we know what that means. I just thought maybe you could talk a little bit about what
Sure.
it means to work with someone who wants to be engaged.
10 seconds on that.
Ooh.
You got it really quick.
So I think with the engagement piece, it's really looking for what's going to motivate the client. I'm going to find out what's going to motivate them, what they really want, and how I can be best service to them. Because I'm their support. Ultimately, if I'm not, I'm there for what they want.
Listen, thank you very much. And unfortunately, what they're asking me, what they want, is for us to take a break. We'll be right back. We could be talking about these subjects for such a long time. These people are mean, these producers. We'll be right back. And we're back. Elaine Apter.
Hi there.
League of Women Voters,
Yes.
tackling Black History Month and a really important little nugget of history right in our backyard.
Right, it was just amazing. Every February or one unit a year, we get a choice in our little discussion groups of what we want to tackle or talk about. And the Leisure World group, the Rossmore group, found out about a free black man who owned 40 acres right on Leisure World property, right at Norbeck. And we decided to have a speaker, and it was really fascinating. He had 40 acres. He was free. His wife was a slave, Millie, and they had 14 children. And because in Maryland law, the child is a slave if the mother was a slave. All those children were slaves, but they didn't work in the fields. Most of them had, I can't say nice jobs, but they were house slaves, and so they worked in fairly decent conditions, but they were still slaves.
This
And
is bizarre to me. So married couple, freed black male, married to a slave.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
all 14 children were slaves. And of course, the Quaker area, Sandy Spring,
next
was
door.
right next door, and there was quite an underground railroad.
Sure.
And they and some other people decided, almost as a protest or trying to do something, they got a ship called the Pearl. and they took 77 slaves, and 4 or 5 of Edmondson's children, Paul Edmondson's children, went on that ship.
Amazing.
And two of them were the sisters,
And where'd
2
they go?
girls. They were trying to go up the Potomac to get to New Jersey.
Did they make it?
And they did not make it because they were notified, somebody that was notified, and they were caught. All
Ratted them out.
77 went back into slavery. Most of them were sold further down south. And,
Right.
and you say, you know, well, why did they want to escape? They
Right.
were in fairly good condition. Freedom is freedom.
So, Elaine,
and
let me
there's
ask you
no
this.
question about
You know,
it.
here you are not African American.
Right.
The League of Women Voters has many African American women
Oh, yes,
involved and men
yes.
who are all members. I think it's remarkable that you're here talking about Black History Month, an issue. I think, you know, a legacy perhaps of President Obama, that
Right.
that Black History Month is about all of us.
Oh, no question
it's
about
not,
it.
You know, it's just not like that's their history. It's all of our history.
And when we realized, and literally it was just about blocks from where I live personally in my building, that this all went on, and it's a Paul Edmondson Historical Society, and they started by reading Escape with Pearl. It's a book.
Okay.
And it told the story, and they started actually going into the historic
Okay.
records and things, and what they found was amazing. And they began to find people, who say elderly people, who remember coming to the area and playing in the woods around the area. And there was a white store that is still, the building is still there, and they have the recollection of being there. And you think, okay, when I moved there 15 years ago, this was high rises and all senior citizens, and to me that's what this was forever and ever and ever. And you realize, you know, the historic, as you said, what
Right.
was going on, and the idea of free blacks even
We just
was
have about
amazing.
a minute to go.
But you know,
Yeah.
it's really funny. People forget that Montgomery County was filled with plantations. This was
Yes.
farmland, which is why we have an ag reserve.
Yeah.
And as you said, Leisure World sits right there.
Right
this
in
is,
the middle.
This is our history. And I'm so glad to see that you've gone out and you're bringing the history of Montgomery County to the people. It's not African American history. It's
No.
not Black history. It's our history. So thank you. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
it was just fascinating. And I said there's now a Paul Edmondson Historical Society that is just having more fun researching, and they're going from Paul Edmondson, now they're moving into the Quakers. So it's the whole area of Sandy Spring, and Montgomery County was fascinating. I mean, the history is remarkable.
wonderful.
It really
And
is.
you come further down Georgia Avenue, and you've got some of the biggest slave owners.
Yes, I mean, it really is.
whose heirs continue
and
to.
and that's part of where we know where we're coming from, and that is so important.
And if we
to-
don't know where we've been, how in the
We
world
know
are we going
where
to know
go-
where we're going?
going.
Elaine Apter, thank you very much for
You're
that little
more
nugget. Can't
than
wait to hear
welcome.
more. More nuggets. The Nugget Man. You have more nuggets when you come on here, Tony, than anybody else. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
So I want to talk to you about several things, and maybe we can get through and lots of questions. But let's go in order. Let's talk first of all about this exciting NBC Universal, right? And then I also want to talk a little bit about, or hear a little bit about, still on the Black History Month, the Josiah Henson
Right.
efforts and what's going on. But first, the exciting news about what's this
what-
grant that you got.
We are very honored, deeply honored, that we are the recipients of the NBC Universal 21st Century Solutions Grant. This is a competition that's held at the major, I guess you'd say, marketing areas for NBC's stations.
Right.
In Washington, D.C. They pick only 3 recipients.
Okay.
And we were one of the 3.
Excellent.
And it's because we are taking, as you know, we have a backpack journalism program.
I love the backpack journalism
Which
program.
teaches students to become their own news reporters in the 21st century.
Right.
We combine that with the Boy Scouts of America Explorers program. Now, I must emphasize.
Several years ago, that Explorers Club group was formed here.
That's right. For high school agers,
Right.
it's post 1921. For middle schoolers, it's Club 995.
Okay.
And so one of the things we've done is that people have to understand Explorers is for exploring careers. It's not like Boy Scouts. It's for exploring careers, and it's for both men and women, young men and young women. Big importance. What we do is we've combined the two programs to help them improve their language and their literacy while they're exploring the career of journalism, and we're doing it at the libraries for free. So this summer, you will be able to go to a Montgomery County Public Library and explore language and literature
Perfect.
by doing books, and we're going to put it on TV here.
And we're the target audience, right? Because we're the age group you're looking at.
No.
What's going on? This sounds pretty cool for
We're
me.
looking for middle schoolers.
Darn.
We're looking for, so, of course, we were talking earlier, you have middle schoolers in your
In
program.
our family programs, this would be a wonderful opportunity to expose them to.
And we're looking for those kids that cannot afford it.
That's really
This is, and also you end up with a lot of people who also have language issues. And so what we're trying to do is at the Montgomery County Public Libraries, offer these students the ability to improve their language skills, their
Good.
literacy skills,
Good.
and do it through books. And the big important thing is they'll be able to see it on television.
Now, every library going to be participating, or just a
No.
few? Which ones? Which
They're
tell us
going,
about?
they're, that is going to be the big reveal from Parker Hamilton, the director of the libraries.
How many can you be?
We will most likely do 4.
Okay, that's
Okay,
perfect.
and they'll be hands-on, which is great. So they don't really know that they're doing all the literature and everything. They're just going to be creating a wonderful project.
What we are asking them to do is actually take books that they read from the library, and they are going to then tell us about them, kind of like movie reviewers.
Interesting.
And we're going to put that on the air. And one of the things, I don't know if you knew, our partnership with the library is phenomenal. What they've done for students who are in financial troubles with their families, they've eliminated library fees. The penalties are going to be eliminated. So now the kids can come, and the iPads will be available at the library. They don't have to own the equipment.
Yes, and Montgomery County Public Schools should be able to use this. Reading teachers and stuff, that should be a wonderful connection.
to help facilitate the program?
Yes.
What we are doing to make this a self-sustaining program is we're teaching the librarians to conduct the program, but we really do want volunteers. If they're willing to come help us with this, we'd love it, because this is a community resource, and the goal is to make it replicable in urban areas just like Montgomery County. This is to be a model
Big part of your grants.
that we can put in other places, and that's why NBC Universal was so excited, and they said, we can replicate
I'm
this.
hoping you're going to have a story. I hope you're going to expand it a little bit so somebody can do a story on the Norbeck, the freed slave.
Yes,
and the,
actually, they did
black-
do a video.
with
but
the black
that would be
backpack journalism.
something to see, yes.
All right, let's go to Josiah Henson. We've just got about a minute.
Yes.
I wish, again, with everybody, we could talk so long about all these.
Josiah Henson
Update.
Reverend Josiah Henson is the person that you know as Uncle Tom from Harriet Beecher Stowe's book. To make a story very simple, he's originally from North Bethesda. On the grounds there's the Josiah Henson Park.
Right.
And we're getting ready we're partnering with the Parks Foundation and Montgomery County Parks to build a museum and education center to do exactly what you were talking about. Teach the community about the ongoing impact
Right.
of slavery and human interactions.
I can connect with you because Harry Beecher Stowe's brother was one of the people that freed one of the Edmondson girls. And actually, I think she went on to Oberlin College and did some great things. So there's a tremendous connection
Linkage is
there.
going on right here. Montgomery Week in Review, by gosh. You're pretty excited about the Josiah Henson.
Absolutely.
The way you guys have covered it, it's been fantastic.
This is one of the biggest honors. We are going to have a conference in June as part of Juneteenth, like we did last year. And you will actually see, again, descendants from Josiah Henson's family. And whether you know it or not, we have a connection to Canada because of him. He brings America and North America together.
You're going to bring Trudeau down? Because apparently all the women are calling for him. Come down here. Heartthrob.
That would be that would be a bit much.
Thank you so much. I want to
Thank you.
thank all of you for joining me today. And I want to thank all of you in the viewing audience for joining us for this week's edition of Montgomery Week in Review. I'm Don Moores, your host, inviting you to come back again next week at this very same time.